and our Cover Me this morning from our friend Joe Guam, and it's brought to you by Burger King. We're back with Speaker Therese Lahi right here on the link. Next, good morning.
We've been together a while, and I don't mean to cramp your style. Sometimes I wonder just how things happen this way. And I'm just reminiscing of that one whole night we would spend. You pick me up every morning. I just get through with the club. I never thought that a girl could love a man this much. I am overwhelmed, and baby, I just can't thank you enough. And I'm wondering, oh, sweet darling, what did I do to deserve you? What did I say to make your angel eyes turn my way? If only I had the world, I'd give it all to you, babe. I'm about to leave for the road. I'll take you with me in my heart. And I really pray the Lord my soul to keep. And baby, just one request, keep dreaming of me. And I'm wondering, oh, sweet darling, what did I do to deserve you? What did I say to make your angel eyes turn my way? If only I had the world, I'd give it all to you, babe. I said if only I had the world, I'd give it all to you, babe. I said if only I had the world, I'd give it all to you, babe.
Music. Thanks to our friends at Burger King. They jumped on way back when I was actually on the radio here at 93.9 with Live Local Fridays, and they were on board with that segment for many years. So definitely Rudy and the gang over at Burger King have no problem and are very proud to support the local music. So I just want to recognize them for that, and go get you a BK Big Fish and an Impossible Whopper for Lent. Maybe on your Fishy Friday this week, you get a big BK Big Fish and then the Impossible Whopper, and you know what I mean? Just like that, Jay. Go
I
ahead.
got a question.
Yes, okay.
If you eat an Impossible Whopper because it is plant-based, is that considered a sandwich or a salad?
Maybe it's a salad on a bun.
Yeah. I mean, they're delicious. They're really, really good. I just wonder. I was like, wow, could you say you had a salad that day?
You got the most interesting questions, my friend. It's 7:38. Speaker Therese.
She thought it was funny.
I don't know how you follow that. Good morning, Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Speaker Teresa Terlahi. Good morning, Speaker.
Good morning, Chris and Sabrina and Jason. Good morning,
morning.
everyone.
Good morning.
I guess we'll just go ahead and start your reaction to the governor's State of the Island address at the Guam Legislature Monday evening.
Well, I thought it was optimistic. It was nice that she gave credit to some of the agencies and the people involved in the response to the pandemic. I think the people of Guam absolutely deserve kudos for all of their support for the governor and all of the frontline personnel and for all our essential workers. They really did it. The people of Guam really did what they needed to do to bring these numbers down. And so I think we're all very, very grateful. I think, the parts of the speech where she outlined her plans coming up, they were they were great plans. They're very general, however, so I'm looking forward to seeing the details on them, especially the use of the $661 million. We haven't seen any details. And I just think, that's an unprecedented amount that's going to be in aid that's going to be given to a governor. And it's 661. It's, not that far off from the 780 million that we appropriated from the general fund in the last fiscal year. So that's what we're looking at. It's almost like an entire budget for the government of Guam. And I think it deserves some checks and balances. And so that's what I'm hoping that we as a legislature are going to be able to do. And of course, but the goals, if we're going to address poverty, I'm absolutely for that. I think we need to use that money and address some of these systemic issues so that moving forward, no matter how we move forward, that those issues, we're going to be able to, cure them as best as possible and build an economy, build our families, let them thrive, after solving those issues. Infrastructure especially water to Chamorro Land Trust properties for affordable housing, absolutely critical. I agree with that. The hospital, of course, I agree with that. And so it's just, again, it's the details. I think we need some oversight. I think, I'm looking to my colleagues in the legislature to do what we're supposed to do here in checks and balances. And I think if we can get transparency with this $661 million, that we can really do some very good things for Guam.
So 2 thumbs up for the speech?
That sounded more like a 1.5. 1 thumb up and 1 sideways. So classy. General plans lacking on the details. That's kind of what a lot of people took away from the speech, Madam Speaker. But I wanted to go back to this last year with the first round of the CARES Act funding. I mean, you guys were told stay in your lane. No supervisory, no oversight over this huge infusion of federal cash. And I know that we're trying to avoid the same thing in the second go around with the $661 million. But I wanted to ask, is this also a conversation that's being had in legislatures across the continental United States? Is there that struggle?
I'm sure it is, because many of them have tried to, put limits on the use of the funds, or I'm talking about the other funds. So these are new funds, so they're all going to probably do what they can. But in some of those states, of course, the governors are just maybe more transparent, maybe more cooperative. So we're hoping to get that here. We've seen in Hawaii that they absolutely, I've seen laws where they are dictating how the money will be spent. So I guess it just, the states are different, but of course, every legislature, I think, wants to make sure that procurement is done fairly. That's one thing, right? That we don't want a repeat of any unfair procurement. We want open procurement. We want to get value for our money. All of the values that are entrenched in the procurement law, we want those to be honored. Same thing with the open government law. We want those values to be honored and persist throughout the spending of the $661 million. I think if you, especially those two, if we, can ensure that, then that's going to go a long way.
It's a different set of circumstances now because we're in PCOR 3. We're not in the height of a public health emergency like we were last term. And so when you talk about value for the dollar and open government, one of the things that we had talked about last week, Bree, was the cost of the quarantine. Right, I mean, we're in
quarantine and ISOFAC.
the quarantine and ISOFAC. We're what, like 20 million in the hole with Cortec over this?
$20 million is still owed, and again, this is for inclusive of unoccupied rooms for the Bayview and the Dusit Outrigger and the Dusit Tower. And this was just within a 5-month time frame. At least that's the information that I asked for from Guam Homeland Security Civil Defense. So the numbers were from October to March 1st. And I did ask, because this is supposed to be paid for with CARES Act funds.
Yes.
But according to DOA, there is no more CARES Act funds, at least from CARES 1. And I did follow up with Guam Homeland as to where we're going to get, the remaining 20. Are we going to try and get it from the 661 million? So I didn't get a response. So I'm not sure. Maybe you know?
Well, no, I don't know the direct answer to that. I've asked the same questions. However, they did assure us that is going to be FEMA reimbursable. So it's just a matter of, where are they going to pay it from and then seek reimbursement. So it's a good question, Bree. I share those concerns.
There was during the oversight hearing, I think you were the one who mentioned it, that Public Health had informed the committee that they were looking for another location for the isolation facility. Have you received an update on when or if that is actually going to happen?
I actually thought that they had secured one, but found out, a little later that it wasn't secured yet. They were, finishing the procurement on it. But yes, they are absolutely going to be shifting. I think they're consolidating. That's one thing for sure. They're going to consolidate the isolation and the quarantine facilities into one. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen in the current facility or, it's going to be moved. But I do know that they're supposed to be doing RFPs and things like that on it.
Mm-hmm. I did want to get your reaction. I think we all kind of knew that it was coming, that the governor was going to veto Bill 11 regarding legislative approval, right, for public health emergencies beyond 90 days. But her veto message, it was pretty strongly worded. She said, let's not pretend Bill 11 is about a desire for legislative involvement or even transparency. We should recognize this bill for what it really is, an effort to dictate the terms and conditions of a public health emergency by a body that does not have supervision or control over the agencies responsible for doing the necessary work to respond to the emergency and keep our community safe. The bill is not an attempt to restore the separation of powers. It is an attempt to destroy it. As a member of the body that supported and voted in favor of this legislation, what is your response to that?
Well, I just think that they're mistaken in that, belief, because first of all, this bill could never impact her Organic Act powers. That's just simply impossible, legally and in every way impossible. So Organic Act powers for emergencies are always there for a governor. What this bill was attempting to impact is those health emergency powers that the legislature created and the legislature bestowed upon the governor. So for the legislature to come and finesse that, granting of power, or to put some conditions on it, or even just to say we want to review your renewal after 90 days is actually an expansion of powers from 30 to 90 days. So I think it's absolutely appropriate. I think if the legislature wants to do its role with checks and balances, then it's necessary. And I think, if we can, nothing in the bill says we are going to dictate how executive branch agencies respond or do anything. In fact, it didn't touch any of the public health powers in the act. It only touches that declaration or not. And that's all it says, is you just need a yes or no from the legislature, a consent or not. We do this with boards, which are much less, I would say, critical. And but this is it's a critical response. It's critical to decide whether we are in an emergency or not. It's critical to bring the people of Guam along in that decision, I think. That if we can't explain it to the legislature, then we probably can't explain it to the people of Guam. And if you can explain it to the legislature, then you should trust that the legislature is going to act reasonably. I have never seen them not. And, the people of Guam, that's our check and balance. They would be clamoring on an irresponsible legislature. And I don't think that's what they're saying. I think the people of Guam, they want to see that too, that just all it takes is communication. If you've got information, then share it. And if you can do that, then we're all going to be convinced as equally as you are.
Do you guys have the votes for an override, you think? Have you heard?
I'm not sure. No.
I want to follow up also on the Department of Public Health, Art San Augustine, and whether or not he ever submitted that report on his findings of the investigation that he conducted into the allegations of impropriety among certain nurses that were over at the quarantine facility.
No, I don't have a formal report, but I did talk to him recently, and it seems to me that, the part I was very satisfied with is they're finally talking to more witnesses. And so that they're getting the full breadth of the real, scope of what the issues were there. And I do think they have taken some actions to address those. They've moved personnel, and they've also, I think, taken some actions against some personnel. I'm not sure, but those personnel actions, I don't know the details, and I don't want to know the details because those are personnel actions that have to take place, within the agency. But I am happy that it looks like they are aware now of all the allegations, that they are able to address those moving forward at the QFAC facilities. So I think that's very important. And I think that by doing that, they are going to restore the morale of the nurses that have been working, day and night up there.
Boy, this has really turned into something that they said it wasn't at the onset, as you remember. And I don't know, was it just is it dishonesty, or did the director misspeak, or was it kind of one of those things where he's like, oh, maybe it's this, and then they scratch a little more, and it's like, oh my God.
I think it's more that it's just kind of, they only hear a part of the story perhaps, and then when they start to hear what it's really all about, they understand it more, and they're able to dive deeper into it. But they are they told me too that they continue to wait for some timesheet review by DOA. But I think more importantly is that they're taking action. So I'm glad about that.
Mm-hmm. Another thing of Senator Joanne Brown, she's been on the show a few times, and one thing that she has mentioned is that she met with you along with Senator Tello Taitakui, I want to say maybe before the inauguration, to talk about the establishment of a legislative committee on corruption, where, people who come to the legislature, to senators, they can vet these sorts of complaints or concerns. And so, I wanted to hear your side, if in fact that will actually occur or be established.
Well, I'm not going to promise that will be established as a separate committee. I think every committee of the legislature has a responsibility right now and a duty to investigate every agency within their oversight and to do what they can. And I'm going to use the judiciary as an example. They did not like that I was going to have an oversight, but I was very upfront with them. My oversight, as much as I want to, really get into every matter, it's very limited due to other rules of privacy, confidentiality, personnel law. And what we really need is for law enforcement to do its job and to when there are allegations of corruption, that we have, those promptly investigated. I think prompt investigation, announcement that they're going to do something about it is also very critical to gaining the public's trust. And so in one way or another, we would, we're getting these things at the legislature because it's looking like the law enforcement's not doing anything. I think if they would do that, that's really the best way for these things to be handled. Many attorney general offices or district attorney offices have their own white collar investigation units and things like that. And that's really those people who are trained to do investigations can do these investigations. But as senators, I think we should always, take complaints and act on them as much as possible, refer them to law enforcement, and do what we can in our oversight to flush those things out if necessary, if it looks like no action is being done. But ultimately, if you want, the behavior or, if it really is corruption to be prosecuted, we need it to come from the Attorney General's office or GPD, law enforcement. But so I just think we all have to work together. We all have our role, and I think we should all embrace our role and do whatever we can, and we can do that in all our existing capacities.
Mm-hmm. I figured
I was very happy, by the way, on our last oversight that the Attorney General came out right before the hearing and finally responded to my letter asking whether he was going to do an investigation. So once he confirmed that yes, he would, I felt like, well, that's huge, for the Attorney General to confirm that. So they have the capacity to dig into personnel files and every file. So I'm hoping that that's going to give them a much broader scope than we were able to do in one oversight hearing.
I mean, it kind of seemed like Senator Pito was doing his own investigation during that oversight hearing.
Sure. I mean, senators, I'm not going to censor senators at an oversight hearing who want to ask questions of the agency. I think the questions themselves are good questions. The fact that he has a family that, was, I don't know, I'm going to leave that to the judgment of the senators. We're all adults here and we have to use our own judgment. And so my philosophy is in an oversight hearing, almost all questions should be asked if those are, relative to the inquiry before us.
What I find interesting is that when we first heard about the airport investigation, you had the one airport police officer who was terminated, which then led to him filing an appeal, and the documents became public because of that. And then you heard and you read just how many people may allegedly, be involved. And then it turned into, the Port Authority, the Guam Power Authority. And yet we haven't seen one oversight hearing called. I mean, it seems, I don't want to say suspect, but I would think by now we would have seen somebody step up and say, yeah, we need to look into this. Let's hold an oversight, bring everybody to the table and find out what happened. Or, should we just kind of wait till the feds complete their investigation?
Well, not just the feds, but I think local law enforcement, they absolutely need to do investigation. You're talking about law enforcement agencies, right? A lot of those. And so they've got internal affairs divisions that better be looking into it. And what I'd like to see is some, affirmation by the Attorney General, whether they're looking into it, whether these are criminal actions or not, and if they're not, then what we're talking about is simply, not simply, but we're talking about, these personnel issues. Yeah, you're using government time to do this type of activity. That's wrong. We all know it. And the agency heads are all aware of it right now because of the, your work and the civil service documents. So every agency head, I just think they better be acting on it right now. And
when you say investigation, though, are you talking about administrative investigation, or are you talking about a criminal investigation? Just so we're clear, because GPD is like we're doing an administrative investigation into a single officer, and so that's not a.
I think that's what one of the things they need to decide. If they decided to decline a criminal investigation, then we need to know why. Is it not a crime to gamble online, right? Or secondly, is it not fraud of your timesheets or something, right? To do that while claiming you're at work.
Yeah.
But absolutely a civil or personnel investigation, because it's very clear if they were using their time to do that activity, that's a whole other, body of law that they should be acting on.
Yeah,
They have all the authority to do this, and I just think these things are being unraveled as we speak, and we've seen some action by some of these agencies. So I think that we just need to see all of them, step up. And you're right. I think if they don't do anything, then absolutely oversights are maybe necessary or.
But I also feel like, Madam Speaker, when we have an instance like Art at Public Health telling people like, oh, there's nothing to this. It's who's
Right.
making the complaint, and then a month later, it's a full-blown, they're interviewing witnesses, they're doing timesheets. So that's why I'm just leery of kind of taking the agency's word for it. And I feel like when we had the chief of police on, his response was something along the lines of, I don't have the authority to go in and investigate other agencies' personnel based on what those personnel do on a personnel
Administrative investigation.
Right, but I'm saying, like,
right?
if the Civil Service Commission documents are showing that people are doing this on the job and that people have lost their job, and we're seeing it across different agencies,
Yes.
then I want to say it would be GPD that would be in charge of doing a criminal investigation, because clearly the reach of this online gambling thing, and the reason why people are being alerted about it isn't that it's just online gambling, because I don't even know whether or not that's legal. It's that it's online, on the clock gambling.
Right. Online on the clock. That's why I think I've heard different agency. I think the airport, the port, they've all claimed that they are doing their own investigations. Isn't that correct? And so, that work, on the clock activity it should be investigated by these agencies. Right? And I thought that they were doing that. At least, they made it sound like that's what they are. And I think it's similar to this public health case. Chris, I think you described it correctly, that they started off not really knowing everything. So maybe their answers are not that complete, but they're going to learn, as fast as we're learning that, it's like the chips start falling down. And
The chips are falling, no pun intended.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. I trust that we will see appropriate action. I cannot imagine that the Attorney General, if it's criminal, is not going to act on it.
So, Madam Speaker, right, we're seeing it at GPA, the port, the airport police,
Yeah.
Guam Fire, the airport fire, Guam Police Department, right? So many different agencies. Are you
Quite
concerned?
alarming.
Have you heard anything about the Guam legislature and anybody
No, I
involved
haven't.
there?
I have not. See, that's another thing. So if you haven't, I haven't, then that would explain my inaction at this point. But I guess it doesn't hurt to make an inquiry. But no, I haven't seen any documents or been told of any of that activity
Right.
going on here. But if it was, first thing I would do is refer that to the Attorney General and ask him, is this criminal, or can you do an investigation on it, right? And give him everything that I've got. And then take it from there. And if he says it's not criminal, this is within administrative, review, so then we'd have to act that way.
Stand by, guys. We're KUAM FM, Agotnia, Guam. Our viewers on KUAM TV, jump over to our Facebook Live feed, where we'll continue our interview with Speaker Therese Terlahi. Again, KUAM TV, thank you so much. My name's Chris.
I'm Sabrina.
Hasta adios. All right, and we're back. Speaker, I wanted to ask just to get your take on this drama with the doctors, right? As the legislative health chair, I know. I'm sorry, I don't want to you know, I know you probably don't want to wade too far into this, but I feel like it's something that people are kind of talking about, and I'm sure you've seen the interviews between Dr. Cabrera, Dr. Shea. I guess just what was your take on that?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to give you my perspective on that. It's just, I'm a public official. I do not like memes being made about me. I do not like criticism. Who does, right? But I did understand when I became a public official that that's kind of, that's part of the job. You're going to have to withstand that, and you're going to have to accept it. And it doesn't mean you can't respond to it, and tell the facts, but it's hard to take. Families do not appreciate that. Many people will not run for office because of that. They do not want their families to have to go through that. So I think that's, it's part of the sacrifice that you make. However, I just don't like any kind of inference that we are going to try to quiet criticism, or that we are going to try to inhibit complaints about the government. Unfortunately, I think that's exactly what First Amendment's all about. It's you bring us your best complaints so that we can improve our government. And so I'm just, I got to give both of them the benefit of the doubt that if it's we're under some dire circumstances, and there's some of course personal implications as well. That's unfortunate, but I just think if you get back to just the facts and then how the government is involved, it's, we have one physician who's working for the government, and we have another one who's criticizing the actions of the government. And I just think we need to just not do anything that's going to try to censor any criticism of the government at this point. I think we can respond with, facts or, corrections or whatever response we want, but I think we should not try to inhibit complaints about the government. Complaints are, if you take them in good faith, they're trying to make the government better. And I think we've seen this, we've seen things that kind of sounded outrageous, absolutely turning out to be true, in other cases. So unfortunately, yeah, I would advise against, moving forward anymore on that type of thing, and just kind of, let's just move on.
Move on, not move forward with because we had Crystal on, and she was like, "Oh, the governor's probably going to sign off on this complaint that Dr. Cabrera is going to." And you're right, Madam Speaker. I totally agree. I mean, this is a personality clash. Obviously, they have very different opinions on some very fundamental things, but I agree. I don't think that we need to be in the business of announcing publicly that we're going to go after doctors who are critical of the administration's public health policy. I mean, it's just pretty simple to me.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's sensitive right now. Not sensitive.
No, you're right. Everyone's sensitive.
No, I'm just saying they've been through a lot. Frontliners have been through a lot. I don't think they want to be criticized. That's why I was very sensitive to these allegations at the QFAC, because we're talking about frontliners here, right? And I don't want them to be criticized, but I don't want anything to be swept under the rug either. So, we're just going to have to do as fairly as we can and move forward.
What did you make of the governor's, during the State of the Island address? There was a little piece there about the Guam Memorial Hospital, and how she had talked about how we basically dodged a bullet with the help of GRMC. And she talked about, using the opportunity as a learning experience to kind of make those improvements at the Guam Memorial Hospital.
Well, I think we were able to make some improvements at the hospital. I think that everyone knew the improvements were necessary at the hospital prior to the pandemic. Maybe we didn't even realize the full scope. For example, that if you need more ICU rooms, we need power supply and that type of thing to the different rooms. But everyone knew, that there were very serious capital improvement projects that needed to be completed at the hospital to make it safe for patients. Everyone knew that, we could use more nurses. Everyone knew all those things. And supposedly we're trying to improve that as we went along. And I know that prior to the pandemic, when we had heard about COVID in other places, that, part of our response was, to shore up the SNU. So I know you followed that whole saga, and I'm just glad that it's finally, sounds like being done and completed. That it's actually shored up to be an emergency response ICU unit. Whatever we need, should we have to go through something like this again, and that thankfully it also can still be used for its original purpose, skilled nursing for longer term care, and that those patients are going to be moved back shortly.
Right. Yeah. That's good to hear. They, I think it was Lillian or maybe William Kando talking about the grant from FEMA, right, to for an alternate care facility, transforming the SNU into that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, all the patients that were initially at the SNU were over at is it Catholic Social Services?
Yeah, Catholic
In
CSS.
Barrigada, right? Even without a contract. So I'm not sure how much we were paying them, but hopefully they'll be able to go back to the SNU.
We did have a comment here, Madam Speaker,
We need to get back.
from Mike. He comments, how about the $10 million that didn't make it to GMH?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Everyone knew there were capital improvement projects that needed to be made. We tried to appropriate. They never requested money for capital improvement projects, but we appropriated for that anyways. I was, kind of do a big thing for trying to get $10 million over to the hospital for capital improvement projects. And that money, they've never seen it yet. So they're using other funds to make the improvements that they have made. But it makes us frustrated about the pace, right? Sometimes, like, why weren't these things improved prior to this? And I just, it's perplexing for me.
Yeah.
So you'll see that the new budget for FY22 for the hospital is pretty much zero capital improvement and zero for operations from the general fund. So they are looking to the hospital to sustain itself on revenue, and they're looking to the hospital to carry out whatever capital improvements are needed through either federal funds or its revenues. So, we haven't had a hearing on that yet, but that's something that I think we all need to look into. Now, we're fortunate on Guam. We are receiving federal funds, not just the 661 million, but we're receiving federal funds for the hospital, for public health. We're receiving federal funds for childcare. I'm very glad about that. We're receiving federal funds from the EITC refund. That's huge. That alone is really significant. And I want to acknowledge all the efforts of our congressman and our governor and everyone really who's been working for years. This is one of those issues, that I don't believe it was one person. I think it's for years, Guam has been advocating in every way possible to get, reimbursement on that earned income tax credit. And so I just want to give credit to all of those who have made that happen.
Did you catch? I was going to say, did you catch that in the address when the governor was kind of talking about the 661 million and going to lost revenue recovery, but she also said, and to build a new hospital.
Yes, I caught that.
It's like, okay, I wonder how much money is going to go toward the new hospital, because I'm looking at some of the old stories. To build a new hospital, it's like $743 million.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. That would take up the entire amount, right? So, but I have heard them throw around the number of 300 million, considering whether to spend that much on the new hospital and finance the rest in other ways. But like I said, those details have not yet been put on the table. Those we will need to examine. And I think, but I think that putting the hospital on the list is definitely worth a look, whether that's the best way to finance that hospital or not, because we have to move on it.
One other thing, did you have a public hearing this morning at 9:00? Where do you stand on Bill 56?
I'm just trying to remember which one is
Bill
56.
Bill 56 is the one by Senator Moylan that would require drug tests for those running for elected office.
Drug tests for elected office. I don't have any objection to that. I guess, it just, I don't have any objection to it. I don't, my only thing is, I don't want to be putting more parameters on people running for office when I think we need more people to run for office. We need more diversity in this legislature. We need people who've gone through some real lives and, worked some different careers. And I think the input of all of these people is going to be helpful. But drug testing, I don't have any issue with that, because I think if you are going to serve as a senator, while you are serving, you need to, be not beholden to any other interest, not beholden to any other addiction or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Madam Speaker, do you know if it, like the drug testing, because I haven't read the bill, does it include marijuana?
Not sure about that, but I think that would be inconsistent with our current law.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Because just no crackheads. I'm pretty sure we're all in agree. Like, we don't want any crackhead senators. That's it. Okay.
We have it like for the legal profession, right? I always thought it was interesting. They don't kick lawyers out of the bar if you suffer an addiction, but they've really ramped up, across the nation programs to get to help you if you are addicted. And I think we need to do that across Guam. And instead of I just think we need to continue and focus our efforts on that. Our addiction problems are huge. They are the cause of crime, and it's proven, and we cannot deny that. And the drugs continue to come in and all of that. We've got to solve that. And I really, so for this term, we've got a year and about 9 months left. And I think we need to make a dent in that. We cannot overlook that. That's what I'm hoping more than anything else when it comes to drugs, that's what we are going to take care of. Get more canine units, get these more inspections at the airport, more regular inspections at the port, and continue with the inspections at the Postal Service. And the rehab, of course. I know you guys have talked about this, and I want to thank you. You've done a really great job of, increasing awareness, I think, across Guam about the availability of rehab at behavioral health and the expansion of their programs. Thank you.
Well, the governor, in her address, we're seeing a 15% decrease in overall reported crimes compared to 2019. The 10 pounds of meth confiscated was in 2020, I think, last year.
Yes, so of course there's been some confiscation of meth, which is fantastic. But I just think if you consider the availability of meth as well, it's we should not celebrate. We have to really crack down on that. And this thing about crime, I'm going to look at the data if I can find it as to where she gets the statistics. However, and they might be right, but I'm just going to base it on my own personal experience. We all belong to these neighborhood chats on WhatsApp. And for the very beginning of the pandemic, when they, put lockdown orders, everyone has to stay home. I think I did not see much talk about, home invasions or stealing from property for a couple months. But definitely you cannot say that now. We've had horrific crime in the news. We've seen terrible things happen, and we are seeing theft, really prevalent, I think. And so I don't know. I would say right now, those statistics might not reflect what we are experiencing right now. They might, reflect something we went through, some, downturn for a couple of months at the most. But I don't think that that's what we're experiencing right now. I'm guessing, of course, I'm speculating. I don't have the data in front of me. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little disingenuous for them to throw out some. These statistics, like you said, might have been what was happening when we were locked down and staying home, but definitely not what we've seen since the easing of restrictions in the latter part of last year. Madam Speaker, man, I wanted to, I don't know if as the oversight of public health, but we had gotten a tip about the public health lab, which is accredited under the CLIA, but we're hearing that they don't have a pathologist, which would be a violation of their accreditation. Have you heard anything about the former pathologist whose contract was not renewed by public health?
I I can't recall hearing anything about that, Chris, but I will look into it. Of course, we cannot afford to lose our accreditation right now, so we'll see. I don't know.
Right. I'll forward you the info, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Great.
You know, and can I just say, I want to give credit to all the news. I really think what we've been through for the past year, and I don't want to, sound like I'm just catering to you all, but
Oh, no, that's
I am
fine.
very, I've thought about it so much, like who deserves credit, for what we've been through and how we got through it. And I just have to say, the people of Guam deserve credit for doing it. You all of you in the media really deserve credit for keeping us informed. And I'm telling you, it's astonishing to me what I learned from the radio that I cannot learn even in my position as speaker. It's infuriating, and I just don't think it's right. And it highlights for me every day that these things are, something's wrong if we can't get prompt information or we're being kept out of the loop. So,
Well, Madam Speaker, I just want to counter that by saying that, we have a job to do. And I want to draw a parallel between what you had said about we're all in these neighborhood chat groups, right? We're all in these neighborhood chat groups because there aren't enough police officers out there to protect us, because it looks like it's just not a priority for the administration. So across the board, people in the villages step up and they fill in these gaps in services that aren't being provided by the government. And I kind of feel like, I don't know, you agree, but I feel like we also have had to step up because there just hasn't been transparency. There hasn't been accountability. And so I take it serious. I'm like, man, if something's going on and people don't know about it, then we're going to do our best to get the info. And it is unfortunate that a lot of times we get it before people who should be getting it first, like senators or, mayors or just the people of Guam in general. So, it's unfortunate, Madam Speaker, but it is what it is. And I feel like we have stepped up, and I'm proud to say that, gosh, there's a lot of stuff that we've uncovered during this pandemic. And, we take it serious. And again, it's just unfortunate that, you've had to introduce bills to call for transparency.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's crazy.
Don't you think it's really something incredible about Guam? The people are resourceful. I love it. They have found a way.
We will find a way.
Yes. If they run into a wall on one side, they're going to find another way. They're going to get that information out. And I love it. I love living here because I love that type of community. It's kind of like nobody just said, oh, well, no, they didn't. They totally stepped up their game too. And they found other ways to get what they knew out there. And I just got called late last night. I think it was after 10:30. Somebody's calling me about the overtime at Public Health not yet being paid, or it was paid up until December, but not paid past December yet. And I'm telling you, this kind of thing, they tell you it's going to be taken care of and it's not yet. I'm, going to have to follow up again on that. But it's kind of like, if we can all just do our jobs and, we can grow bigger things and better things for Guam, but it's to keep on, following up whether what's required by law is actually done. It just slows us all down. So I'm just going to ask everybody, we're all in this together. So let's just act like that right now.
Yeah, and also to the classified employees, because we don't find things out from the government unless people who are in positions to tell us. And a lot of these people, they give information like what did you get, what we get, at the risk of losing their jobs or being targeted.
They're very worried. They're not supposed to be worried, right? We're supposed to have this open system. You're classified already. But no, they're very worried. Very, very worried. Yeah, unfortunately. So, so that's, to give some credit to Senator Brown, that's why senators play a role, because if you are the person that people can go to, I want to give her credit for that people are going to her, people come to us. So I just think, embrace that role, keep it up, and we've all got different roles, and we are also going to have to be resourceful to get these things addressed.
Well, we'd love to keep you on and keep heaping praise on us, but I think we both got things to do here. So thank you, Speaker.
Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You
You
too.
too. Take
All
care.
right.
You're so funny.
What? And everybody
Stop
needs a
us
little
more.
positive reinforcement out here. I know, but what she said about the people of Guam, damn straight, they are resourceful. When they hit a wall, we're going under, we're going over, we're going through if we have to. It's 8:21, guys. We'll take a really quick break and do a couple things, and then on the way, We have the new czar of permitting. For the government of
Deserves
Guam. Because he's a former governor and a two-term governor and a one-term czar. So we'll get former governor and GVB president Carl Gutierrez next, coming up here on the link. Good morning.
Make it through the
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
Catch a wave of fish and seafood available throughout the Lenten season at King's Restaurant. The Lent menu has a tsunami of all your favorites like deep fried parrotfish, fried calamari, and the Lent sampler. All are sure to be a splash hit. It's the Lent menu at King's. Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Half a day. Does your child have a hearing loss? We are parents of deaf and hard of hearing children and volunteers with Guam's Positive Parents Together, and we are here for you. We know how you feel and have walked in your shoes. We want to help you navigate your way through our educational and medical systems, and most especially, your emotional journey. Please visit us at www.guamparents.org for more information.
Hungry? Grab your phone, open the app, make the order. Done! Satisfy your cravings in a safe, quick, convenient way. Make the dash to Uno Go now. uno-go.com or download at the App Store today.
Join KUAM and Punta Dos Montes for the Mes Chamorro Masterclass Series, an informative digital series for demonstrations throughout Mes Chamorro. Catch the Mes Chamorro Masterclass Series weekly on the KUAM News Facebook page, the KUAM YouTube channel, and every Saturday in March following the KUAM News Weekend Edition at 6:30 p.m. on TV8 and 7:30 on TV11. We'll highlight Guam's talented crafters and artisans teaching artisanal skills of our Chamorro heritage. Viva Mes Chamorro! From Punta Dos Montes and KUAM Communications. See KUAM.com for the complete Mes Chamorro Masterclass Series schedule.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
We got you. We can hear you. You're coming in loud and clear, Gov.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. I can't hardly hear you, so I'll try.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So
Good morning.
Chris, Jason, how are you?
we're doing good. I guess just first question we had was, did you know that you were going to be appointed the czar of permits for the government of Guam?
I'm sorry.
Did you know that you were going to be named the czar of permitting?
We discussed it. Yes, we've been discussing this idea for the last 2 years. We tried to make it work different ways, and although there are certain incongruities of laws and regulations, and then when the pandemic hit, it made it even very difficult, if really just non-existent, movement forward for any permitting to be completed, simply because of the necessary gathering of public hearings, not only in the GLUC, but also out in the community, where you meet with the mayors and the people in the villages for certain projects. So that really exacerbated the permitting process. That the governor decided that we can't have this, because before the pandemic hit, there were already a slowdown in the process of getting permits, and investors moving their process forward a lot easier than just be handed a bush cutter to find their way through the system. And so when that happened, the governor was really concerned that those that have already had projects moving forward might pull out their investment, and those that have already started, at least from step one, will get deterred and decide not to pursue their investment. So it said that if there's something that needed to be done, it's to have one person marshal all the different agencies together. It's not that they're not doing necessarily their job, but there was no oversight by one particular individual, to sort of say, Public Works and Land Management and Agriculture and Bureau of Planning, EPA, all those people that have their own timeline set by law and by regulations. When they get behind times, there's no one person pushing the button to say, listen, you're required to submit your report, your agency review report by 30 days, and it's been 2 years. So those things that fall through the cracks, no one is really overseeing. And so the governor asked me to see if I can take that into my my portfolio, so to speak, and sort of oversee that. And we're doing that right now. We've had people from the business community, people like Dan Swavely, who's really one of the best planners on this island that I remember 35, 40 years ago, and people from the actual permitting process give us input, people that are in the construction industry who have real issues with practicality, giving us where the problems are and how we can try to work within the system, work within the rules and the regulations and the laws. And if not, let's draft some kind of enabling legislation to cut through the red tape, as what transpired over the last week and a half, when Josan Augustine, Senator, and Vice Speaker Tina Muna Barnes and Mr. Moylan, Senator Moylan, put together a bill 14-36, which kind of tells the system through GLUC how to work within a pandemic kind of a situation. The governor signed that last Friday, I believe. It is Public Law 36-2. And that's already one of the first steps that we have been working on for the last 2 years. Primarily, not only the government of Guam putting together a solution, but working with the actual planners out on in the business community, like Dan Swavely, I said, that actually knows what it would require for us to cut through the red tape. and they're very, very happy the governor signed that into law. She had a major input with her legal team as well in drafting that legislation. And so this is where I'm at right now, pulling all of these various different things together from laws, rules, and regulations, and just the people that are in the system for each department that might be a bottleneck, and where we can eliminate some unnecessary steps. So that's where I'm at right now, and I've got some people right now being sort of eyed on to be able to assist me where I sit here at GVB to do that second or third task.
Are you going to be able to still reopen tourism while you're running around stamping everybody's permit?
Of course, I've got one of the best VP who is a PhD in tourism management, Jerry Paris, and I've got Nadine here, who is the global marketing. That's Nadine Leon Guerrero, and I've got the people here that have been empowered, and that's the way I've been successful in the past. Is empowering the people that know what to do and how to do it. So, we're moving forward. We've got some really great board of directors right now that have immersed themselves in the recovery effort, and so this is where we're at with it. So I don't really worry that I will be taken away from my original function of the president and CEO. And so we're moving forward. We're here early and we're out late, and the governor is really, she cracked the whip and getting our economy moving forward. And we're in the process of finalizing now our marketing team, representatives out of Japan. Hopefully we'll get that done today or tomorrow. And so we're thinking of how to market Guam. One gentleman today came up with a really, really brilliant idea. I won't say where, but the thing out on the air that, CDC, the governor finally got us out from category 4, which is avoid travel to Guam. And now we're in category 3, which is, avoid unnecessary travel to Guam, non-essential travel to Guam. And so they came up with a brilliant idea, and we're bouncing that off to our Japan and Korean and Taiwan marketing. Why not use the word essential and say travel to Guam is essential in different ways? So that marketing effort might come about. Who knows? The simple things sometimes are the easiest one to work.
Right.
And let me say that, remember about maybe 25 years ago, I believe it's an award-winning ad, where we in Japan came up with ADK, Mr. Ando, came up with this idea that here's a family checking in Narita with some kids, one flying to Guam and the other family flying to Honolulu. And they showed all of these various scenarios where you're sleeping in the plane coming to Guam, and in 3 hours you're in your hotel, and then you're out in the swimming pool, while the poor people on the flight to Hawaii are just answering around the airplane, still waiting to get to Honolulu while they've enjoyed a full day here in Guam. That simple ad really got us a lot of travelers to wake up and say, hey, there's Guam there, little America in Asia sitting there. 3 hours, we'll be enjoying ourselves.
Kind of seems like back to the basics, Gov.
What's that?
Back to the basics, right? That's the idea.
Yeah. Guam right now, in my, at least my vision for GVB is tomorrow-centric, culture-centric marketing that we're going to do here. We've got Mayor Paco, who's very excited to be a board member here. And, he wants the community to also be in touch with the tourists. As a matter of fact, in my own planning, hopefully, on my own dime, when we really start to open up, maybe the first group of people coming in is I'll host a real fiesta at my house, just to bring back what it really means to interact with what makes Guam the special place that it is, and that's the people and the hospitality. So I'm looking at that just as hopefully we can even film that and use it as part of our marketing efforts. But there's a lot of ideas that are coming through, but sprucing up the island and being Chamorro centric, being cultural centric, I think is the key to go. Let's go start from day one as we did back in 1970.
Has there been any follow-up? I know that Jerry Perez, he had been
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you.
When you guys were on last time, Jerry Perez was talking about this risk proportionate policy, this plan, working with public health.
Yes.
Is there any update on this?
Well, yes, we've been meeting, and hopefully by Friday, we would already have come to some kind of gathering of real-time information. And we have been meeting with the Surgeon Cell, Public Health. And so that's where the key is. No matter how we came together as a GDB, it always gets nixed by the people that actually had the purview of overseeing the pandemic protocols. So now they're involved. The governor has cracked the whip where we have to come together and make it work. So there is movement forward. Finally, the governor could breathe a little bit of sigh of relief that she has really made the right decision in getting Guam to where it's at right now at a 0.1% CAR score. Very important. Our vaccinations are coming in. We are even getting, God sent extra 1,000 doses when we weren't expecting it. So we got the third company that's here. I think it's 1,300 doses of Johnson & Johnson, and the ages are moving down for eligibility. So the governor is doing the right thing. It's up to us right now to carry the ball forward.
And we're still looking at, is it now May 1st for the
Yes, well, we're kind of appealing to the governor at the request of some of the people in the industry that May 1st, although it's a nice start date, I said, you can move back 4 more days and say April 27th, the start of Golden Week, just as a significant part of when the travel really wants to, like out of Japan. So we're around that area. Hopefully nothing happens. Taiwan is still not the place where we like it to be, but we are also eyeing Taiwan. They've got their own little problems there, and they're very careful. So Japan, Korea, they're vaccinating people. That's rolling out. So once we get to a certain level there, hopefully by the time that July 21st rolls around, that we would have 80,000 people vaccinated and the herd immunity can start to work. And so the governor's plan is that July 21st, herd immunity time to begin, 80,000 people. And remember that, when we say 80,000 people, these are the people that are able to be vaccinated. Out of 170,000 population, there's probably going to be like 50, 60,000 people that are not going to get vaccinated anyway. So we want to get as close to 80% of the populations that are supposed to be vaccinated will be vaccinated.
Do you foresee any testing at the airport as part of plans to reopen tourism for arrivals?
Well, the key is they're trying to ascertain our source countries' acceptance of certain kind of testing protocols. I don't know if they will accept the Binax now, antigen test, but we are trying to nail them down on something that hopefully by the time May comes around, CDC would have already sold their idea that these are the perfect real-time 15-minute testing that we can employ at the airport or even at the hotels or other restaurants or businesses. So we're hoping that as we evolve into May, that there'll be more studies that have come out that will give us a more acceptable testing that Japan, Korea, and Taiwan will accept.
Has the Surgeon Cell, made any other recommendations to GVB on what we need to do to reopen tourism?
Well, they're just following the Surgeon Cell, and they're following the guidelines of CDC, and they're kind of hemmed in at that particular juncture. But with us, it's what comes out of CDC that the Surgeon Cell will promulgate here, and hopefully like I said, things will get better, and it might be a lot easier for us to have available the least expensive and the quickest way to assure that the people that come here know that Guam is safe. It is safe, and that if their countries require them to have a testing going back, that will receive one that is affordable, and they can we can use that as our selling point.
All right. Is there any other appointments that we should be aware of that's coming down the pike for you?
No, there's not. Well, what I'm saying is that everybody right now, it's palpable right now, the feeling that we are on the right path, and we are making such headway that hopefully in the next near future that we will not even see a CAR score at 0.1, that it might be a 0 CAR score. It's working. The faster we get people vaccinated, people are feeling good that the governor brought us in the right direction, and that we should accept it and have the will to continue to move forward, because that's the only way that we can really satisfactorily tell the people in our source markets that Guam is indeed safe, and that we care about our own people as well.
He's still on track to hopefully receive $20 million from the American Rescue Plan?
Well, hopefully, I would say Guam time, March 15, came a week earlier than I anticipated, because I was looking at the 22nd to have the signature of the president. That's a done deal. The governor has set aside, and hopefully I'm going to be speaking with the governor in the next hour, also on our regular meeting, and I'm going to try to cajole her into having another $18 million that we are applying through Public Works and GIDA to take care of Matapang Beach. And we've already got the rendering. It really works well. That park is our people's park, and that we want to be able not to delay any further, to wait for an EDA grant of $18 million. We have the planning already done. We have the rendering done. We want to be able to say, hey, set aside $18 million. It's for our people. They've been pent up. Matapang Beach being upgraded like that is really going to be fantastic, not only for the tourists, but certainly for our people, and the surfboarders and the paddle boarders, and they can even have a place for them to store their paddle boards and surfboards in that area. Bathrooms will be more than sufficient, barbecue areas, and the safety of that aquifer that's there under the parking lot. Will mitigate the shrinkage of that and the caving in of that. So and the fire department be located there with their jet ski for safety equipment instead of Dedido.
Do the renderings include the zoo? Like making the zoo that's right by.
Maybe we're gonna put like a COVID plexiglass to keep the smell away from that. But no, we're looking into that. I don't know. I didn't even realize the zoo was that close from there.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll figure out something with that. That's the second time somebody brought it up in the air to me.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try and get a hold of Keisha again and get a copy of those renderings.
Yeah,
We've been wanting to.
I thought you said we were going to get the renderings last time.
I'll send you a WhatsApp it to you now, and when we get off.
Right on.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. I have Chris's number, so I'll send it to you, Chris.
Thank you, Gov. Okay. Also, good luck with your cajoling.
Hey, also the $50 million from the cannabis sales, right? That's whenever the rules and regs are.
To me, that's still a sleepy goal as far as I'm concerned, to get that 50 million up there. But the governor is correct. We got to put that into the system so that it has an automatic usage at 2-month area. That's probably their foot in the door, so they could be up there marketing that thing. But let's get past the pandemic situation first before we move into that. But it's a good idea.
Last question, Uncle Carl. This comes from our Facebook Live comments. Do you know if we can go to the PI without a visa?
No, you cannot. As a matter of fact, my inquiry to the Consul General's office there, I cannot get a visa myself. I have a very important task with Director David De La Sola on the H2 situation. And since we're expecting, another 3,000 H2s by the summertime to come in here, we need to be able to speed up the process of getting the adjudication of those signatures that we used to have it here at the Department of Administration, but since the pandemic, it has been sent to Los Angeles office of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Philippines, and that's holding up a lot of it. So hopefully we can get to the Philippines, sit down with Secretary Bello of the Department of Labor and Employment and Malacanang, and have them carve out a country-specific contract for Guam only, because we are really going to be rolling out at least $8 billion over the next 5 years of projects in Guam, and the Filipino H2s are going to be a good recipient for our companies here.
Gov, I know that you've been a peacemaker at times, and I want to say that you have a really good relationship with Congressman San Nicolas, something that Governor Liu doesn't have. Did they ever approach you and ask you, or do you ever have it in you to want to kind of bring those two parties together for the benefit of the island?
Well, the governor, I don't know whether they're not getting along. They are. They can't help but have to get along. But certainly, I do have a very close relationship with Delegate San Nicolas. I have a close relationship with the governor. I can be a good intermediary, and I try to be a good intermediary. I mean, life's so short that I think things will work out. Wouldn't surprise you if they, we're all out to dinner one night, all of us.
That I got to see. Send us a picture.
Okay, I'll send you right now the rendering of Matapang.
All right, Gov. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Gov.
Former two-term governor and one-time czar of permitting cargo tariffs. He's also.
We didn't get to ask, is there anything you can't do?
Yeah, well, because he's still the. Are you still the?
Still the one.
No, I know. Yeah, he's still the one. But the chief economic advisor. Remember, you were the governor's chief economic advisor on was it international affairs or?
No, that thing has moved over to the Council of Economic Development. I still have that. When I came here at the outset, I became the CEO, president, but I still carry that because I do have ongoing projects that I started out and I have to see it through. So that still remains with me, and the governor knows that I can do multitasking, and I like to get results, and that's the key. She loves us to get results.
There you go. Okay, now we're gonna hang up for real. Thank you, Gov. There you go. Yep. He gets results.
There you go.
8:53. We'll take a really quick break and come back with more of the show. Our friend Jason Salas is going to go in with Sagan Koturan tomorrow, as they have reopened last weekend. Jay.
Saturday.
Yeah. And we've got just a bunch of great images and videos from that, so I'm excited.
These images are stunning. You guys are really, really gonna like this. It's gonna want to make you go there and experience SKC, in person, which we can now do safely.
Right. Okay, so that's coming up here on the link. Again, it's 8:53. Good morning.
Factory Catch a wave of fish and seafood available throughout the Lenten season at King's Restaurants. The Lent menu has a tsunami of all your favorites like deep fried parrotfish, fried calamari, and the Lent sampler. All are sure to be a splash hit. It's the Lent menu at King's.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
Hungry? Grab your phone, open the app, make the order. Done! Satisfy your cravings in a safe, quick, convenient way. Make the dash to Uno Go now. uno-go.com or download at the App Store today. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Half a day. Does your child have a hearing loss? We are parents of deaf and hard of hearing children and volunteers with Guam's Positive Parents Together, and we are here for you. We know how you feel and have walked in your shoes. We want to help you navigate your way through our educational and medical systems, and most especially, your emotional journey. Please visit us at www.guamparents.org for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
That's the radio side. We're also on the Facebook Live of KUAM News. Good morning. Audio stream, Docomo Channel 10. 8:58. Let's go play this Guma Rosan Otsulati performance here from our friend Brian Terlahi. It's a great performance. It's a chant written by Guma leader Patrick Somnak Camacho. Entitled E Sainata. So we're going to play that right now, and we're coming back with SKC next on the link. Good morning.
All right, so our thanks to Brian Terlahi and the many, many talented local artisans who put that very inspiring piece together. Chamorro chanting, is there anything better than that, especially during Mes Chamorro? And fittingly, our friends at Sagan Couture and Chamorro are now reopening. It has been too long. It is a place where you can go literally for healing, for inspiration, to reconnect with our roots and our heritage. And in the KUM News Zoom room right now to talk about how you can avail of all of the wonderful resources that we have at Sagan Couture and Chamorro are Amber Benavente and a buddy of mine from the high school ROTC days, a member of the island-wide famous Aces High Armed Drill Team at GW, Raf Pinko. Raf, I haven't forgotten about you, man. We went to San Diego and represented Guam way back in '91.
Wow, I can't believe you brought that up.
Hey, those are good times, man. It was all about representing our island, representing our community, and representing our culture, which now is extended with the fine work that you folks do over at Sagan Couture and Chamorro. So Amber and Raf, first of all, congratulations on reopening. I mean, I know it's been a lot of work to get to this point, but what's the tempo right now? What is the mood, and how excited is your staff to basically avail yourself to the community again?
Well, I think we're all excited. The members, the artists, everyone's excited to be back at the center. Of course, even if it's limited hours, I think because also the fact that it's Mes Chamorro, we're just as pumped and excited to be back.
Yes, definitely, and we're especially excited to have some new members come up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working with other new organizations, especially also Marianas. They are a slinging organization that has actually brought in some awards from off island, particularly in Spain. And I'm sure you've met with Roman de la Cruz, and he's told you all about what they've accomplished to this point.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
But yeah, they're up here now. Well, not right now, but later on today they'll be coming up and slinging at about 5 o'clock. With their group. But they're just a recent addition to our cultural center.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping to work with more local artists and art organizations on island, and hopefully make something even more better than what we got right now.
Yeah.
And Raf, correct me if I'm wrong, but over your left shoulder, that is the you are near the part of Sagan Couture and Chamorro that is dedicated just for the sling practitioners, right? Because is that one of the targets right behind you?
Yes. That's right now. That's our main target. The Otso Marianas actually built it, and they have some targets all around the island. But we're planning on expanding depending on how the community receives this type of activity. So far on our opening day, it was pretty crazy up here. There's a lot of people coming up just to sling. And this is our first time doing it, so it was pretty great. It was nice to see so many people interested in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that a lot of people were already very well versed in how to teach it, that was great. So,
well, Amber, I want to get to you in just a moment, but Raf, can I just ask you, can you give me a shot, like speaking of over your shoulder, just that gorgeous vista of Tuman Bay? Man, what a wonderful day God has blessed us with today.
Right?
I'm going to go ahead and say, like, Sagan Couture and Chamorro, best office space ever.
The best.
Definitely.
That is absolutely incredible. What a wonderful day.
It is like what you said. It's very much a healing space.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to just tell everybody, when you go to visit Sagan Couture and Chamorro, please make sure to take pictures, post on social media, tell everybody across the internet how much you enjoy it, because it is on the side of a cliff. It's wide open spaces and everything. Connectivity there is great. So you can take pictures, do live streams. It's a fantastic experience. But Amber, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, because we're still in a socially distant world, we're in PCOR 3, but not completely out of the woods yet. Operationally, what type of restrictions have you had to implement?
Okay, you know, Saging Katuran tomorrow is a very open space. So outside of the Gumas, we just ask that everyone wear their mask and maintain social distancing. In the Gumas, we've decided just to have 5 people max, and that's not including our members that are in there, you know, explaining showcases, or like Mama Jill up at the gift shop, who of course has to run the gift shop. We will also have sign-in sheets right when you enter for tracing purposes, and I believe that's it. But we do ask the community to please follow those protocols while you're at Saging Katuran tomorrow. I know it's easy; it's a big open space to just take off your mask, but of course, you know, we need to just respect others, respect this space, and we do still have this pandemic is still lingering.
Mm-hmm. I know Chris was bringing up earlier, you know, and as we've talked about, it's a place for healing with, you know, when you go to see the surahanas, or, you know, you go to get a massage. Are all of those activities going on like as normal?
Okay, so for the traditional healers, they are on an appointment basis. And I think in the press release that we sent out, there is a contact number that you can contact Hadza Foundation to schedule an appointment. Mm-hmm. The healers are at the center from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Our daily operation, the gift shop, art house, museum, and the farmhouse, they're open Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Farmhouse being open Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We do have, in honor of Mes Chamorro, 2 ongoing workshops in addition to the slingers. So every Saturday and Sunday, we have Tempun Tinifuk that's going to be held with Rokin Sionko. Every Sunday for the month of March, we have Tony Mantanotnyo, who will be demonstrating the hotnu. So he'll be making panizuk and cinnamon rolls. Of course, because of COVID, he cannot sell up there. We will give samples accordingly. And he's open for donations. Because he's not selling. So, but he will be demonstrating the hotnu and how to bake the bread. So
immediately when you said hotnu, the phrase is hotnu and cinnamon rolls, I'm already drooling inside my mask. Cannot wait. Okay, yeah, Raph, if you can unmute your mic. Sorry, when you're walking around, I was getting some wind shear off you, but there you go.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem at all. What is, you know, you've been doing this kind of work, and you've been up there, you know, advocating for the resources you provide to the community, and, you know, for our people to remember where we come from and continue to practice our traditions. What does it mean for you to have the opportunity to open during Mes Chamorro, and, you know, I mean, such an opportune time when we can really get back to that community connection?
When we first opened this place, we're kind of a skeleton crew. I mean, we have a lot more people now. But it got to the point that during Mes Chamorro, that was kind of like our month off, because everybody had to go to the schools and demonstrate. And it wasn't really a month off because we were actually going around to the schools. But as far as the cultural center, we had, you know, it was a month off for us, because it was more trying to get the culture into the schools and educating people. But now with this post PCOR situation, you know, we're really glad to be back, especially being able to open on March 6th, which is a very important day. Commemorates 500 years of contact with the European world, you know, and but not the rest of the world. We kind of knew where we were at. And the more important thing about it is we're still here, which is great. And we can celebrate that, you know. And, you know, being that we have, you know, all these activities still going on, from the weavers to celebrating our food, to celebrating even the fact that we've revived slinging, which has not been practiced since the 30s, from what I understand. I heard that there was an actual competition back in the 30s that was still going on, but then it stopped. And this is like in Palau. Palau was the last place they did it. But yeah. Anyway, back to the cultural center. You know, we're really glad and, you know, happy to be able to open back up and share a few the grounds, and also, you know, the artwork that our local artists have been creating through not only our displays, but also through the gift shop, which is Guinan Chamorro, which is run by Jill Benavente.
Which
she's been with
showcases
us-
over 70 plus artists at the center. So the gift shop encompasses all the artists that have come through, and just they have their arts and their crafts in the gift shop.
Mm-hmm. And guys,
Jason,
I want
this is, I think, what the community really needs, like having the space open and talking about it being healing. In times like this, I think this is exactly what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Get back to the culture, especially in Mesa Chamorro, and it's just something uplifting for us.
Yeah, one thing I have always found so unbelievably, it's almost like poetic justice, right? Because of the geographical position of Saigon Katuran Chamorro, right? You're in between the hospital and the Tumon Strip, right? And so and you're right up on the cliff, so you're quite literally overlooking places, for entertainment, for commerce, for gathering, and that is, a part of SKC's appeal. It is a place where you can go and and learn and have fun, but at the same time you go there and there are practical activities that you can participate in, and you get that healing and everything like that. So you truly combine the best of both worlds.
Yes,
it's just so perfect,
Definitely.
like where you're located.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's great that we have we are on top of this mountain, but at the same time, we're not very far away from the ocean side, which helps out our seafarers. They can share how to carve their canoe on top of the mountain, and then they can bring people down to sail it. We're eventually going to get to that point. Actually, we've been in talks with some of the seafarers to schedule some events where they can have people come up and be picked up by the by the seafarers and bring them down to the beach, and they ride on their canoe and stuff and come back up later. But
Amber,
this
I
is all-
remember
this is all
during
stuff that we're working on.
Well, Amber, I remember during the 2016 Festival of Pacific Arts, I went up to SKC and I was covering some of the festivities up there, and the visiting delegations, from other Pacific Island nations, they were just saying, like, this is such a wonderful resource, and they kept saying that over and over, from I know there were people from American Samoa and other nations that were saying these people do it right and they get it. They're honoring their ancestors, and and they're
Well, I
passing
think-
on the traditions.
Yeah, what we need to understand in other sister islands, they have cultural centers, and so Saigon Katuran Chamorro, it's the first of its kind. So everything under SKC is Chamorro, from traditional practices to the arts, and so having a place like this to call ours it's beautiful, and so I think they shared that sentiment because they, if you go to the other islands, they have their own cultural centers, activities, hands-on activities. And so for us to have this here in Guahan, in the Marianas, it's special for us.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, I'm a journalist, so I'm a natural skeptic, right? But I'm also a very proud Guamanian, which means that I do believe in honoring our traditions and having that connection. Because otherwise my grandmother, my grandfather would, I get that really sharp tillick in the back of my ear saying, you better respect, boy. So there is a very spiritual, a distinct spiritual vibe when you go up there. As members of the staff, have you ever had like that feeling that, that our ancestors, they're watching over you, they're protecting the facilities, and they're proud of what you guys are doing?
Every time I go up there, it's, it's a reconnection. My father, who I lost, is one of the founders, along with Raph. And so there is a deep connection to our ancestors up there. I mean, you just walk into the museum where Raph's at. It's crazy that he's standing there, and you just feel the 4,000-year-old connection to our people. And so, it gets me emotional, but it's a very spiritual place, a humbling place, and a place to reconnect to who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. We've been here since 2006, getting it ready, grassroots style, and we're still on the same track, same frame of mind. we want to help re-educate the community about what it is to be a Chamorro. It's the Chamorro culture and the arts, and basically share, because for a long time, even I know definitely artists would have that question in their minds, like, what does it mean to be a Chamorro? What is that? I mean, we can say, okay, red rice, okay, but everyone can't give a real answer back like 15 years ago. Now we can give some solid answers because we've really thought about it for that long or even longer.
And we need to realize that our history is old. It's 4,000 years old. There's a lot to know about who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the place, the center, to learn about who we are, and also to practice who we are, and then it's most especially pass down the knowledge that the center holds from the artists or the traditional practitioners up there. That's basically what the space is all about.
All right, guys. Now, I do want to give you the opportunity because, of course, again, we live in a socially distant world, and your staff has gone to exhaustive lengths to make sure that you can manage the foot traffic that's going there and everything like that. But I want to extend to you like a basic invitation to the community. And if you have never been to SKC, my friends, Amber and Raph are now going to give you their pitch about what the experience will be like, what you'll take away from it, and what it's going to mean to you to be a visitor of Sagan Katuran tomorrow.
I'll let Raph do that, but then I'll give thanks to certain people that I really want to shout out.
Certainly, sure.
Okay, well, as far as the experience up here, when you arrive, you're gonna enter through a Laddystone Gate entrance. You're gonna drive up the hill. You're gonna see hills on both sides and flowers pretty much everywhere. These are flowers that we've been tending to. We put down in the ground and been tending to since 2006. And up on the hill, you're gonna see about 9 buildings. We're gonna do our best with artists, sharing their work from traditional to contemporary arts. That's from painting and down to weaving, to slingstone throwing, to traditional healing, and even farming. But we like to also stress a couple of things: social distance, please wear masks, and mind the trees of all the bees. We still fortunately have some bees up here that help us keep this center very, very beautiful, but you get too close to their home, they're going to defend themselves.
Yeah.
So the good thing is we're only about 5 minutes away from the hospital, so if you have an allergy, we can.
Yeah. Well, Guam bees are very, very territorial. That's a proven fact.
Oh, definitely.
And Jason, I want to thank the Humanities Guahan, because it was through their CARES grant that we were able to get supplies for the center and reopening, and then also assistance in the online content that will be forthcoming. We want to thank our partner nonprofit organizations, and especially, and our members, especially for sticking it out. We weren't really closed. We did have Guahan Sustainable Culture there with produce pickup throughout the whole year, every Thursdays, and then now Mondays. And then, of course, Kumado Auntie, Mama Chai, she's been up there umptying all the nannies during the pandemic every day between 8 to 12. And then, of course, those who came up, our volunteers that came up to maintain the grounds while we were partially closed. We really deeply, truly appreciate all of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then final question before I let you guys go. I could not let you guys go before I ask you this one final question. For people that have never had a traditional, authentic, historic Chamorro healing massage, explain what that's like. Because I know my Nina knows about like the deep tissue stuff, and like especially like our grandmothers, grandparents, they'd find that one like nerve in your neck and they would really work that one part.
I'll be honest. I had a little shoulder pain, just from being my age, a couple of years ago, and I went in and I saw Mama Chai, she's she's 85 years old. Well, she was at the time, and I'll be honest, man. That old lady gonna make you cry.
Yep.
She knows how to work the knots.
That's what it's all
She
about.
definitely knows how to work the knots. But you will feel better afterwards.
I've been saying that about
Yeah,
Chamorro traditional massage. I was like, your muscles are gonna relax, but your tear ducts are gonna work too.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
she's so tiny in frame, but her power in massaging and lassoing is just phenomenal. Like even if you're trying to move, she will put you in your place.
That's true.
Hey, I do want to add one last thing. We do want to make this place available for our local artists, and if any local artists are interested in coming up and maybe utilizing the place to do their artwork, we are very open to that. Just have them give us a call.
Fantastic.
That-
And
that's
what
what we're
number
here
can they
for.
reach you at, Raf?
688-7290, or you can
Or-
get a hold of Amber as well.
788-8404.
All right. Well, it's our pleasure to pass along, the good work, the good word about the good work that you guys
for
do.
always having us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Congratulations once of all. We look forward to seeing you up there.
Thank you, Jason.
All right. So that's Raf and Amber from Sagam Couture and Chamorro, now open once again, ready to pass on the traditions of our people and let you know where you come from. It's fantastic for anybody who calls Guam home. Make sure to go check them out. And make sure to stay tuned because we are coming back with a travel and quarantine vlogger. Interesting story coming up, so stay tuned. The link continues after this.
Catch a wave of fish and seafood available throughout the Lenten season at King's Restaurants. The Lent menu has a tsunami of all your favorites like deep fried parrotfish, fried calamari, and the Lent sampler. All are sure to be a splash hit. It's the Lent menu at King's.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC. Uno Go has arrived and is here to deliver you food from your favorite restaurant in a safe, reliable, and fast way. Choose from a variety of restaurants island-wide and track your orders in real time, with quick deliveries whenever your cravings kick in. Plus, sanitized vehicles, reliable drivers, and safety seals for your peace of mind. Make the dash to Uno Go. Visit uno-go.com or download the app at the App Store or Google Play. Uno Go, delivering Guam on demand.
Half a day. Does your child have a hearing loss? We are parents of deaf and hard of hearing children and volunteers with Guam's Positive Parents Together, and we are here for you. We know how you feel and have walked in your shoes. We want to help you navigate your way through our educational and medical systems, and most especially, your emotional journey. Please visit us at www.guamparents.org for more information.
Tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this whole world's gone crazy. Grandpa, take me back to yesterday, with the lines between right and wrong didn't seem so lovers really fall in love to stay, to stand beside each other, come back. Was a promise really something people kept, or just something they would say?
Good stuff. Candyman. That's a remake, a cover, if you will, of that country song, Grandpa. This always reminds me of my grandpa. The late Jose Santos Tenorio. Balitres Guha. I just think about, because we're talking about massage with Amber and Raph from SKC, and my grandpa used to, I mean, who didn't spend hours? Like, I should be certified already with the number of hours I spent massaging my elders. And they liked my hands. They're like, yeah, this, you're good, Chris. So I was always the one they would request to go. But the thing that made me laugh is like when you know, and you're like massaging your elders, and they're like, oh, press it harder. And you're like, oh, you want it harder? Okay, how's that? What? Are you trying to kill me, boy? 9:28. Good morning, guys. Wednesday, the 10th day of March. We're about to go in with our friend Dino, who is, he's a travel and quarantine vlogger, or at least he was back in November. We're going to play this little clip here. And obviously some things in quarantine have changed in the 6 months since this video has been posted. So we'll go in with Dino afterwards. But this is a travel and quarantine vlog that kind of chronicles his stay in the... Well, let's bring you on now. Dino, so give us a little background before we play this clip from your YouTube page. When was this? Where are you coming back from? And just kind of give us a little lead into it.
So I was coming back from Hong Kong. I went from Hong Kong to Korea and then came to Guam. And I just figured during quarantine, everything was going to be different. So I decided to start shooting some clips and videos.
Have you been in quarantine since this last video?
No, I have not been in quarantine, but I will be going back to Hong Kong. So I'm actually gonna be in quarantine for 21 days in April.
Wow, why 21 days? Oh, is there a quarantine there or something?
Yeah, there's a quarantine in Hong Kong.
Wow. So you're gonna do a little video on that too?
I am actually gonna do some pictures and videos going there and coming back because I'm going back to pick up my family.
Nice. Okay, and so we're gonna play this again. This is Dino's quarantine experience in November of last year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hafaday, my name is Dino Sadwani, and I will be documenting my travel today from Hong Kong to Korea, and then Korea to Guam with a 3.5-hour layover in Korea. Today's date is October 20, 2020, and I will be arriving on Guam October 21st, 2020 in the afternoon. A little bit of background on myself. I got married and moved to Hong Kong 6 years ago. Since I have moved to Hong Kong, I've been mainly in the real estate industry here, and my wife has been in the relocation industry. Last year on October 9, 2019, we had a beautiful daughter, and this was around the time of the protests in Hong Kong, which made it very difficult. The hospital where my daughter was born is one of the main areas where the protests were happening, so we were very concerned about that. We really didn't have a choice because we already made the decision, so we were at the mercy of the protesters and wondering if, like, what would happen if we had an emergency. Shortly after our daughter was born, COVID came around, and it just got a little more crazy here in Hong Kong. So my wife and I decided to pick up and move to Guam to give our daughter a better life. And there are a lot of things changing here, so we just figured it'd be best to move. We wanted to move in April 2020, but obviously that didn't happen, and it's just been getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So I decided for myself that I would go to Guam first and set up, and then I would come back and pick up my wife and daughter, and then move back and start our life there. So this is the beginning of my trip. Gloves and the face shield now. So just checked in at Korean Air. You can see it's pretty much dead everywhere. Does feel like the beginning of a zombie apocalypse. I showed up here way too early. Boarding the plane now. So we're about to land in Korea. Landed in Korea. Disembarked. 3-hour flight. Just landing in Korea now. Korean flight was good. I slept the whole way. Like literally got on the plane, was asleep right when we took off, and I woke up when we landed. Guam, 9 a.m., gate 118. Let's go walk there now. Nothing's open. As you can see, there's like 2 people, 3 people. Feels like this airport is deserted. I mean, I can say whatever I want. No food, packaged foods, fashion and accessories. Literally the only people I'm seeing are people that work in these stores or people that work for the airport. Terminal 2, Incheon Airport. So it's about 7:30 in the morning now in Korea. My flight is set to take off at 9. So my flight is now delayed a half hour. So just boarded the plane. Not sure why we were delayed a half an hour.
비상시 비행기의 전원이 꺼질 경우
So it's 2:25, just arrived on the island of Guam, and we're gonna be taxiing in right now. Half a day and welcome to Guam. Went the longest route I'd ever gone from a plane to immigration, then fill out like a lot of forms. So it's about 4 o'clock and we're now getting out West arrivals. There's 9 on my bus. I'm assuming there's 10 and 10 on the other buses. This bus is extremely hot. Looks like we're going in the backside of Dusatani, or the old outrigger. So landed at 2:30 about. Now it's about 4:45. So I just got to my room at the Dusatani. Checking out the place now. Room looks really nice. So it's October 22nd, my first morning of quarantine. It's a beautiful day here in Guam. Little view of the beach in the Nikko Hotel. So just another update. 3:10 right now. One of the nurses just came to visit me. Really pleasant, just asked me a bunch of questions, how I was feeling, wrote down all my answers, everything, and then took my temperature, and she said she'll be checking on me every day, which is amazing. Like I said, they're doing a really good job. So I'm back home now for my 7 days of home quarantine. Feels good to be out of the hotel, Bustani. I am wearing a mask around my mom and dad just because they're elderly. I know I tested negative for COVID. I know that should be okay, but just gonna do it for 7 days. Yeah, it's amazing. Pretty good being back home. So hopefully these 7 days go by quick and I can stop wearing a mask around my parents.
Oh, there you go, Dino. Welcome back. Pretty interesting. Any time did they ever like tell you, "Oh, stop filming," or "Oh, what are you doing?" or?
No, pretty much everywhere I went, nobody said anything to me. I even have a short recording of my test, and the guy who gave me my test, Paulo, he said, "Yeah, go ahead and use me if you want." I just thought it would be a little too long, and everybody's seen a COVID test, right?
Hi, Bree.
Hi.
We're getting Dino on here. It's a travel and quarantine blogger. Dino, we wanted to ask you because I guess since the time that you were in quarantine, which is late October, from then until now, I don't believe the government of Guam has paid the bill for the quarantine and isolation facilities. It's like $20 million or something.
Yes, $20 million is still owed.
Yeah. Is it worth it, in your opinion, having been there, done that?
I think it was okay. I think the facilities are great. I wish when I'm going back to Hong Kong that they would pay it, but the Hong Kong government's making me pay the bill for my quarantine. So that's interesting.
I hear
How
that
much
a lot.
is it?
It's gonna be anywhere from $1,600 on up because it's 21 days with food.
What does that break down to per day?
But I have to do it.
Yeah. 21 days?
21 days.
Okay. Well, good luck on your travels.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. I don't know what I'm gonna do for 21 days.
So when you go to Hong Kong, what's their quarantine like there? And then what do you need to like travel into Hong Kong as far as like a test or whatever?
So they don't even care in Hong Kong whether you have a test or a vaccine. They don't care about anything. I'm gonna fly in. I have a Hong Kong ID card. You can't really travel into Hong Kong if you don't have that card. And if you don't have it, then you have to be like somebody whose work sponsors them or something like that. But I mean, I have to go back to pick up my family, and that's the main reason I have to do this. It's been almost like I haven't seen them since the end of October, so it's kind of hard.
Wow. All right. Well, can you keep us posted? Maybe we could can you zoom in from quarantine in Hong Kong?
Yeah, I definitely can.
Oh, that's cool. That'll be cool.
Definitely can zoom in. I heard the Wi-Fi there is really bad, but I'm gonna get a data chip.
Right.
So I won't be so bored.
Let me just bend your ear a little bit. You know, the quarantine, the isolation, the public health authorities say that this is like the main reason why we've seen such a decrease in the cases from the second surge. Having been in quarantine and you know, jumped through all the hoops and seen what it's like firsthand, do you agree, disagree with that assessment?
Well, I feel like for example, if you live alone or you have an apartment for you and your family, I mean, I don't see the difference in quarantining in a hotel or at home. I understand that if there's other people in the house, you don't want to be around them. But I think 7 to 10 days, testing after 7 days, you get out of quarantine on Guam anyway. And I mean, it's hard for them to follow up for the next 7 days when people are spread around the island, right? But I think if like you have some kind of checking system that people aren't leaving their own place, it would be better.
And so what was the takeaway from your time in the quarantine last year? How was the service, if you will?
The service was, I mean, like everything was good. I mean, the people were nice. The food was decent. Obviously, I wish I could have had a place to cook for myself. That would have been better. But I mean, I really don't have anything bad to say about the quarantine. It's just that if I had to do it again, I would try and use my time more productively.
Like what? Bring a puzzle or?
Read a book, do some work. I just recently moved back to Guam. The reason I came is because I needed to get my real estate license, and I'm going to be working as a real estate agent on Guam, so I had to do that before my family came. I'll be at Home Ventures, so if anybody needs, I'm a new real estate agent on Guam.
Okay. Because we had, was it Crystal on, Bree, when she said people are giving the quarantine rave reviews?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm sorry. That was just, how do you say something like that? But I mean, people have said the guard is pretty cool, so maybe that's what she meant. But rave reviews, Dino, is that pushing it a little too far?
I wouldn't do it again if you're going to ask me that. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it again. So I think they're making it the best that they can, but it's still, as soon as they close that door, your mind just goes somewhere else,
So you didn't post a 5-star review on Yelp of the quarantine?
No, I'm not. No, I didn't do that. But I mean, for what it's worth, I don't think they could do any better than what it was, unless they were spending a lot more money.
Well, $20 million is a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
They should be massaging your feet for that much. Right? Cortex should be out here clipping our toenails and stuff.
I wish the food was decent, but I just wish it was better.
Right. And so people talk about it. My friend Sevi is one of these guys, and people say, like, why don't we outsource the food to, like, some of these restaurants that were having a hard time? Would you disagree with that?
I would agree with it because, I mean, I don't even know how much they're paying per plate, but
it's $69 a day. $70 a day, right?
I think I could get a lot better food for $70 a day than what I was getting.
Which one were you at? Dusit Beach or Dusit Tower?
I was on the old outrigger side that was looking at Nico.
Okay. What is the price for the rooms there? Yeah, it's $159 per room per day. Yeah, $69 per day for meals.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm. When I'm going to Hong Kong, I'm going to be spending, I think, $60 or $70 a day, and I'm getting a hotel room and food. So that's Hong Kong. That's a place that's a lot larger. So
right.
Plus, they got dim sum. Are you getting dim sum?
Probably. I'm probably gonna get some dim sum and noodles for breakfast.
Damn.
Do you know the name of the hotel you're staying at?
No, so I have to book it myself. So a room's a room.
Yeah.
I don't really need anything lavish. As long as there's a shower, a bed, and a TV, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, Dino. Appreciate
Thanks, Dino.
Your perspective, man.
Yep. So if anybody wants to know what's going on or how it's going, I'm probably going to be posting on my IG. It's dino.guam. Really easy. If you want to follow me, I'm going to probably be doing stories while I'm traveling.
Right.
And then I'm going to compile everything and do another vlog going and another vlog coming back. So if anybody wants to see how it is, let me know.
Dino, I want to ask, what is your profession? Real estate, right?
In Hong Kong, I was in the real estate industry. Because I'm moving my wife and daughter back to Guam, I'm gonna be at Home Ventures, and so like residential, commercial, any type of real estate. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Have you looked into filling out and applying for the quarantine exemption? Because I think, are realtors essential?
I'm not.
Yes, I believe they weren't in the beginning, but I believe they have modified that.
Yeah.
The biggest problem for me is I'm not a resident of Hong Kong, so I get no money relief there, and I'm not a resident on Guam yet, so I get no money relief here. So on both sides, I'm kind of like, it's not going to work. My wife gets a little bit in Hong Kong, and I know people that get it here, but I just wish I could have gotten something, because this travel is going to be a little bit expensive.
Right. Well, you have a home here on the link anytime you want, Dino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we'll see you when we go to Hong Kong.
Yeah, follow me and you can see me whenever you want.
Right.
Yeah,
on.
hey Dino, we got your Instagram handle up on the screen and everything like that. So hopefully a lot of people follow you, wish you well, and follow your travels.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Hopefully I get my family here soon.
Yeah.
Good luck, Dino. God bless.
Good luck.
Take care.
Okay. There you go. Our friend Dino. What is it? Dino?
Dino.Guam.
Yeah. What's the?
Dino.Guam. I just put in a request to follow him.
Okay. Yeah. So you already got a new follower. Sabrina was the first person up. Dino.
All right. 9:48, guys. We're gonna take a really quick break and come back with more of The Link right here on The Breeze. Again, it's brought to you by East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, and IT&E. Good morning.
Catch a wave of fish and seafood available throughout the Lenten season at King's Restaurant. The Lent menu has a tsunami of all your favorites like deep fried parrotfish, fried calamari, and the Lent sampler. All are sure to be a splash hit. It's the Lent menu at King's.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Half a day. Does your child have a hearing loss? We are parents of deaf and hard of hearing children and volunteers with Guam's Positive Parents Together. And we are here for you. We know how you feel and have walked in your shoes. We want to help you navigate your way through our educational and medical systems, and most especially, your emotional journey. Please visit us at www.guamparents.org for more information.
Hungry? Grab your phone, open the app, make the order. Done! Satisfy your cravings in a safe, quick, convenient way. Make the dash to Uno Go now. uno-go.com or download at the App Store today. Dinner in a snap. You don't even have to leave the couch. Fast, safe, reliable delivery. Make the dash to Uno Go now. uno-go.com or download at the App Store today.
Sunset, you taught me how. Took a drive on the mountain, yeah, where we can look out on our own little island. You made me feel so comfortable with each moment that went by. I wanted to show you my love for the very first time. So you really wanna, so we take control. You take me higher than the clouds, and your touch makes me wanna scream out loud. Ooh, you take me higher than the clouds. I don't wanna rush, baby, when we touch. Wanna let you take me over. Ooh, I'm so damn lucky, babe, that I have you in my life. Yeah, I don't have to be on a mountain to feel at the top, and you know I won't stop. 'Cause with me in your arms, I feel like a queen, a dream so big. I'm your lady, you're my man. Feels so right, and I know you understand. So you really wanna, so we're really gonna. I can't believe you both feel this way now. So we gonna try it, no more trying to hide it. Let's let it go and let emotions take control. You take me higher than the clouds, and your touch makes me wanna scream out loud. Ooh, you take me higher than the clouds. I don't wanna rush, baby, when we touch. Wanna let you take me over. With the sun setting in your eyes, I know what I wanna do is see the sunrise. Here we are, right here, right now, intensity. And it seems to me like you and me were meant to be. Me, I put on pum like a beating of a drum. Just a little touch from you, boy, I love you so much. You'll be my Superman, I feel no pain. Tell me higher than the clouds, up, here we go. I said put on pum like a beating of a drum. Just a little touch from you, boy, I love you so much. You'll be my Superman, I feel no pain. Tell me higher than the clouds, up and away. You take me higher than the clouds.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead, Jay.
You know what we like to say here on the show, guys? Miss a link, miss a lot. And what Carl Gutierrez, the former governor of Guam, was
Excuse
saying.
me.
Yeah, get it right.
Get it right. It's
What
the
did I say?
czar.
Yeah, don't leave
Oh,
out
yes.
his titles.
Come on, man.
Yeah, well, a former governor, current czar of permitting.
And president and CEO
Yes.
of the Guam Visitors Bureau. He's got like 3 heads. He wears so many hats.
And also his WhatsApp game is strong because he promised and he delivered, because he actually sent us the renderings of what is planned for Matapang Beach. And ready to go, Joe, sir? All right, we'll bring this up right now. So have a look at this, guys. So this is, I'm assuming, you know, if you know Matapang Beach, this is kind of that grassy area to the left of the Holiday Resort, right? Where they currently they put like all those like the canoes and the I'm gonna just go through like some of these. The design looks kind of like the same, like the pavilions that they've got down at Chamorro Village,
Right.
that we had for FestPac back in 2016.
Really nice.
Pretty compelling, I must say. Okay, well these are okay.
It's got the fire.
Yeah, if
fire
you're an architect,
department,
you're drooling all over your keyboard right now if you're watching this.
the
But
lifeguard shack or whatever you want to call it. The surfboards.
yeah. Somebody really went
Or
all out with
paddleboards.
AutoCAD on this
Yeah.
one, I must say. But okay, where's that picture? Let me.
The zoo's not there.
Yeah, okay, and that's what. Okay, so as Sabrina was saying,
What
right?
did he say? He put
Right
the
on the
plexiglass.
right on the side of this is Cushing Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking it would be right. Oh, whoops. Right over.
To the left.
Yep, sorry about that. Oh, okay, yeah, right over. Man, I do not know how to load
It's
a
off screen,
Yeah,
Jay.
anyway,
Yeah, I do
it's
not know how
really
to load
nice.
a PDF today. All right. Okay, so basically, like way off to the left would be where Cushing Zoo is.
So what's the deal? Is this like out the bid or is it?
He just said that those are the renderings, and he said he wasn't going to wait for the EDA grant. He's going to try and cajole the governor because he's meeting with her today.
$18 million.
To try and get some money for this. And that's aside from the $20 million, which he said. What did he say was a
Governor
done
Lou,
deal?
watch your purse.
But wait, so did he say this is going to be purely like a free recreational zone for residents, or is this going to have like commercial properties or?
Well, it's Matapang Beach. It's a public beach.
Yeah, this public beach park. He though in his discussions with us, he seemed to really kind of like make a big deal that this is great for the local people.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like an improvement to me. But
I mean, when you think
That's
about
a
it,
1,000% improvement.
all of that grassy area, like in Matapang Beach, when you get past the, they got the police koban when you first walk in, and they've got the big parking lot in Bree. Like you always said, if you drive in there, there's that big dip where, like it always
flooding.
floods.
It's
yeah,
always
Matapang
flooding.
Lake.
Yeah. And then you hit the beach. It's a narrow strip, and then you go right onto the sand. But yeah, there's a lot of property there.
Yeah, so he said this morning that he was going to try and cajole $18 million out of the governor, which to me, I mean, it kind of like, I would just say, okay, who's going to do it? Is it out to bid? Is there a procurement involved? Or is it just like, hey, I got a drawing, here's $18 million? I don't know.
Well, what did he say? He gets results.
There you go. He gets results. 9:58.
When was the last time you guys went to Matapang Beach?
Pre-pandemic, long time. I stay away from there. It's always crowded and drunk people.
Well, no, I went on
I went there for paddle boarding, I think, or stand-up
I went
yoga
there
or
in 2019. I helped Dave Delgado out with the. They had a high school paddling competition, so I went there on a Saturday morning and shot it. But I mean, beautiful beach.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So Zebao.
Yeah.
All of Tumon's beautiful.
Guys, you're beautiful. Thank you for jamming with us here today on the link.
Beautiful.
Which has been brought to you by East West Rental.
It's true.
Cowboy
Take us
Enterprises.
out. Cover Me by Jason
I'm
Salas.
trying to even think about how that song goes.
You're
Who sings that?
beautiful. It's true. You're beautiful.
You know what's actually funny about that song? I'm drawing on my
That
music.
the guy sounds like that?
No, well, yeah, okay.
You're beautiful. It's true.
Yeah, the guy sounds like that. You know what the guy did before he
It's the only
became?
word you guys know.
You know what the guy did before he won a Grammy for that song? He was in the special forces for her.
James Blunt?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Her Majesty. He was basically like the British equivalent of like a
So
Navy
he's
SEAL.
racist special forces guy.
He was in Her Majesty's Special Air Service.
Oh.
The SAS. Got
Yeah,
it.
the SAS.
Her Majesty.
Ooh.
Royal
Okay,
mess.
sorry. Speaking of Her Majesty,
Yeah.
you touched on this lightly yesterday. So what's
No
the
pun intended, Jay, with lightly, right?
Yeah. What's the whole Meghan Markle thing?
What do you mean, what's the whole Meghan Markle thing?
Did a interview with Oprah Winfrey.
Yes,
and she
on CBS.
just let out the tea.
Okay, so now has the royal family clapped
Wait,
back?
okay, which one's her husband again? Prince
Harry.
Harry Prince Harry told her.
You can remember because he's the one with the beard. So Harry, he's got a beard. Harry. Yeah.
Okay.
He's the cuter one.
Harry told his wife, Princess Meghan Markle, that I guess the royal family was asking him, like, is the baby going to be dark complected or
Someone in the royal family.
someone in the royal family? They
Or
didn't
the
name any names,
institution or
and they didn't even say complected. I think, is that a Guam word? Jay, is that, you're a smart guy? Is complected a Guam word?
I think so.
Like, is there really a
Complexion
word called complected? You know, when they say, oh, he's like complected.
Yeah.
And this is while she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Those conversations were had, and she was already feeling
The
like-
pressure, and the, yeah.
and like depressed and wanting to take her own life.
Yep. See, ladies out there, all that talk about, oh, I'm going to grow up and marry a prince. It ain't all that. Nope, it sure ain't. Right, Joe, sir?
Okay, so Bree, I guess my question now is: has the royal family clapped back?
They haven't clapped back yet.
Not yet.
No, I think there was a statement, I saw it somewhere on Instagram, where Buckingham Palace issued a statement that they were, something about like the facts may vary or recollections may vary of
Oh,
what
boy.
happened, but they will address this privately. With
They
the
will
family.
discuss the matter in privacy.
Okay, in privacy.
It is not the opinion
Maybe-
of the royals.
Maybe
to-
we'll get Ed Byrne to come on tomorrow and read the statement from Buckingham
no,
Palace.
no, seriously?
Like a dramatic rereading.
No, seriously. Mr. Byrne is very, very proud of his heritage, of course. But he is always very happy to talk about British culture.
Yeah, I wonder what
I'm sure
what he
he's
thinks.
got some strong opinions about this.
And
I
we'll
bet-
ask him about overtime. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody in Gov Guam right now is like, hey, so Mr. Byrne, what do you think about that royal family thing? And he's like, oh.
His phone's like ringing off
Right,
the
yeah.
hook. I thought you wanted to talk about Tahazi.
The governor called him and he's like, "Yes, governor, I'm working on it." No, I wanted to ask, what about the royal family?
I was totally
racial.
No, imagine
Totally.
Like if you were in if you were in a WhatsApp group chat with like if you were in a WhatsApp group chat with like Ed Byrne and before like it's like, okay, thank you, Mr. Byrne, we'll see you on the link tomorrow. Oh, thank you very much. God save the Queen.
I wonder if he went to the SOTI.
He did.
Or he did?
Yeah.
He was at the SOTI.
I
He's
gotta
like,
say,
hurry up, the interview's coming.
He kind of looked like he was sleeping at one point because they kept panning,
Mhm.
and he was kind of like his head was like, and I was like, somebody go wake up Ed
No,
Byrne.
I know what you're talking about, but I believe Ed's he's
I bet
always,
he woke up though when he got home and he put it on the CBS
Oh, yeah.
and watched that interview.
No, he was immersed in thought. I'm pretty sure.
Right, totally. Okay, you guys done getting in trouble now?
No, so we've talked about on this show. We've talked about a czar.
We got the royal family of Britain
No.
gonna be hating on us. We got the royal governor. Don't give us the time of day. We're in trouble with all the royals.
But we talked about a czar.
We did.
We talked with the czar.
We're okay with the czar though. It's 10:03. We're KUAM FM Magotany, Guam. Good job today, Bree.
Good job.
Joe, Sir, Jason, Master Control. Remember, we got your 6 with our KUAM News primetime broadcast. My name is Chris.
I'm Sabrina.
We'll leave you with this one from my friends in Dedicated Minds. It's called Love, Love. Esta Gupa, Link Fam. Adios!
Happy Wednesday!
Bye.